what a rare mood I'm in. It's almost like being in love. I got this smile on my face for the whole human race. It's almost like being in love. And all the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when the bell starts to peal, I know I was falling, yes I swear I was falling. Well, it's almost like being in love. What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. It's almost like being in love. I got this smile on my face for the whole human race. It's almost like being in love. And all the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I know I was falling, yes I swear I was falling. Well, it's almost like being in love. It's almost like being in love. It's almost like being in love. Almost like being in love.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Monday. Last week in June.
Last week in June. Can you believe it? Next week is July 4th already.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Who sped up the clock? Why is it that we're going so fast through this year? This is just like ridiculous.
Way too fast. I have to I cannot even believe how fast we're going. On the keys was Johnny Melnick in the house.
I know.
Johnny, almost like being in love.
He's back for more. Back for the third time.
Come on in.
Johnny Melnick is in the house. Johnny Melnick says to me last Wednesday, "What time do you want me to appear tonight?" So I says, "Johnny, the show was at 12. Was that 12? Johnny, I've
musicians, we live inside. We don't even know if it's day or night.
Oh, boy, you way inside.
When we leave here, we have no idea because there are no windows. So it could be 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. Sometimes we walk out and say, "Oh, the sun's still out." No clue, no sense of time. It's like Vegas in here.
It's the way it goes.
Like Vegas. It's almost like being in love.
What, blind?
Almost. Is love blind?
Being in love, be blind.
Well, that was his song. It's almost like being in love.
Yeah, I love that song.
That's a great song.
It's a great opener. I don't have a show, but if I had a show, that would be
Well,
my
we're
opener.
working on that.
I'm working on songs, man. Well,
remember,
a lot of
you-
things going on.
You got to be with us on July 21st for JC Dreesen's.
Yeah,
You're
JC's
going
doing
away,
a show
though.
July
When are you leaving?
21st.
Wait, what are you leaving?
He's
Where you
leaving
going?
again for like 3 months.
Yeah, I got to. I'm back up. They apparently love me in Pennsylvania. I got to leave the. I got
When
to.
are
The
you
indoor water
leaving?
park.
What's that?
When are you leaving?
I'll be leaving the 23rd of July.
Okay, so you'll be here for the 21st.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well,
All
We'll
right,
be
sure.
back until October.
That's
sure.
okay.
Right?
Listen,
Sure,
you got to pay the bills.
will do.
I'll tell you this, I was planning on doing a Johnny Melnick concert, but now I got to wait till October you get back. We'll do it in October.
Yeah.
We have 5 planned and you were on the docket.
Okay.
I'm watching every day more and more ticket sales coming in.
That's right. I see that
We
They
did. We
got
saw
theirs.
Sally bought her tickets.
they got theirs. You got to go to events with an S.amp2.tv, get your tickets because, and not only that, but the hostess with the mostesses and Johnny are going to be interviewed on the red carpet.
Nice.
Because I want people to know that we family. And JC's leading this whole parade up. And it's amazing what's going on. I went to the movie theater on Saturday, and I was there for hours talking about how we're going to do this thing. And it isn't as easy as hit a button. There's all sorts of stuff. that gotta be
Chameleon,
done.
Johnny.
What's that?
Chameleon. This man? We were talking, when John and I were talking before the show, on how you can talk to anyone and everyone.
This gentleman in the lobby
Me?
included.
I'm just me. You can change venues, change clothes, change conversations. You can do it all. Chameleon.
It's a New York gene.
That's what he told me. It's a New
It's
York
a New York
thing.
genes, man.
First of all, it's easy
Watch.
to do this
Here we go.
when there's
Ready?
talent.
Here we go. Yes.
You do something nobody else does in here.
Exactly.
You do something, you do something, you do something, right? So all I'm saying is, tell us what you do. I'm not asking for nothing more. I say the same thing. The man with the magic camera. The only one in this room that made me wait 4 years because she does something was this one.
But I only do what I do.
4 years. Do you know 4 and 7 is 11? Where would we have been 11 years ago?
Can you imagine on a beach in Tahiti somewhere, probably?
No.
Retired with the
Don't
stars
tell me that because I'd
aligned.
really be upset.
I mean, what else could you have been, you know?
But you know, you meet guys like Johnny. Johnny's also writing music. He's getting Megan involved. He's getting JC. I asked him to help put an album together for that as well. I wrote a song. Did you put a melody to the song I
I
wrote?
know. The name
Tell
of the
him.
song is called "Sentimental Love" at this point.
That's what it's called.
So we're working around that. Yeah.
Are you gonna say Freddie wrote it?
I'm going to say you wrote it.
It needs a
Yeah.
little more, how do they say? Je ne sais
Can you
quoi.
do that,
A
Freddie?
little more heart and soul.
Seriously?
Can you add some heart and soul to it?
Oh, baby, that's my
Some like
thing.
love and pain and what it feels like.
You want more pain? You want more pain? I wrote a song that I was crying when I wrote it. There was teardrops in the paper.
That's the thing about AI. There ain't no teardrops. Ain't no
That's
teardrops
right,
in
baby.
AI.
This finger with AI does magic.
So that's what we're working on, the heart and soul of the song.
Well, now we're working on the heart and
Johnny's
soul.
going to add some heart and soul to it.
You know, it's funny. My son does not believe that I wrote a song. And then when I told him how I did it, he said, "Oh, anybody could do that, but nobody did."
No.
I think it's
Nobody
raining
did.
on the red carpet.
Oh,
Casey.
Casey, Casey.
Although our guests enjoyed walking on the red carpet, now it's going to be a wet.
I think it's raining.
Yeah, I was going to do medals.
Well,
Thank
you gotta go. Let's go now. Don't look at me. Go, 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 go. And you gotta get a towel to dry it up. Ugh. I tell him, keep your eye on the prize. All right.
The
there we
chameleon.
go.
There you go. We got some more music. Johnny, you going to stay with us for a little bit?
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
Well, you know.
First of all, let me tell you something. CC and another C is coming to town
Triple C?
at the end of next month. Oh, you won't be here.
I won't be here. No.
And they want to play with a band that they're bringing a 3-day tour. So we're calling it the Welcome Back Tour
They're
from
hitting some
CCC.
nice places.
Okay.
Some nice places, and I wanted them to take you with them. And now you're not going to be here.
You're
you
going-
put
I
a
gotta
wrench.
Are you going back to the...
Yeah, the Kalahari Resort.
Where you going? The indoor water park.
in Pennsylvania, yeah.
What is it? You
It's
and
the
the
steak
Speedo
place?
have
They
like
got a
this
beautiful
relationship?
steakhouse there called the Double Cut Steakhouse.
So the parents are sitting at the double cut, and they got the kids running around the Kalahari on the water slide.
I can't believe it because this is a high-end steakhouse.
That's
This is
what
not
I'm
a
asking.
it's not a sizzler, and they come in with like 10 kids, a gang of kids. It's got to be $1,000 for dinner. It's got to be
The funny-
$1,000
the
for dinner. I'm
funny
looking
thing-
at it going like,
Is it a day rate for the kids, or is it like an all-inclusive, like
yeah, it's all I think it's all inclusive.
like a resort? So you're there for the day, like Club Med, and you go eat
Yeah.
as the parents, and the kids get to play on the water slide all day?
Yep.
And is it true you play
got-
the
they got-
ivories in your Speedo?
What's that?
You play your ivories in the Speedo?
No, I haven't been asked to do that yet.
They told me, they said, tell him to put his
It's like
Speedo on.
I don't know if that would be helpful or not. So we're gonna.
That's the difference in New York and here. Here we got Club Med. You do things outside. There they've got indoor steakhouses, indoor water parks.
Okay, I'm going to try an experiment with you. You have your phone, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to put your phone in a certain position, and you're going to leave it there. And I'm going to give you an app, and you're going to play into the app, and I'm going to
We'll
record it.
broadcast live.
Yes, because
Good.
I'm tired of hearing about it. And they told me about the Speedo and you and a steak. You eat steak, have a Speedo, all playing with one hand.
Let's not go there.
But we can sell that.
I got to ask Johnny, and what he's going to take us to commercial with another song. What's the best burger you've ever had?
The best burger,
Best hamburger?
Frank Duggan's restaurant. It's called the Reef in St. Croix. It's my buddy Frank Duggan. He's a Boston boy. Miss him terribly. I lived in St. Croix for 7 years.
And what do you put on your burger?
Me? Usually a couple of pickles and onion.
We had this whole conversation this morning how Freddie layers his burger. Lettuce, burger,
No.
no,
Yes, lettuce burger.
then tomato,
Onions, tomatoes.
and onion, and then cheese
Yeah.
on top of everything.
Well, cheese too. Yeah, and then, but I like A1 steak sauce.
You could, oh, there you go. But you have to take the mayo, the mustard, the ketchup, A1 steak sauce. You got to make this secret
Okay.
sauce,
That'll-
and it dribbles with an egg.
Oh, boy, with an
You
egg.
have,
Wow, man.
You have the Freddy burger.
The Freddy burger. Okay.
But wait
sounds
till you
good.
taste the meat. Don't tell them where you get the meat. It's a secret. Don't tell nobody. You guys are
tell
sworn
anybody.
to secrecy.
Yeah,
It's
not,
going
you
to be
gotta
the
share.
best burger you've ever
You
had in
going
your
to
life.
grill for 4th of July?
Me?
You should do a whole
I ain't gonna
barbecue.
grill. I'm not at my age. I get grilled. I don't grill. I get grilled. Grill me, baby. Grill me.
Oh, so we're going to hold right there. John, you got another song to take us to commercial
Yeah, I think
break?
so.
I can't even touch that one. Johnny's going to take us
Do
out.
you grill or you get grilled? What do you guys do? You grill? You
I
used
get
to.
grilled.
We're at an age that now we don't grill. They grill for us. You grill or
Oh, is
you
that
get...
what you meant by you get grilled? I thought
Yeah.
you meant you get grilled with a million questions.
No. I mean, you
People
grill for me
for
like my
you.
son did.
Oh,
I told my son,
that's what you
let's
meant?
grill. Yeah.
Oh.
You grill?
No.
You don't grill.
I used to.
You don't even open the stove.
I used to do all of it. This house, I don't even know how this grill works. The
You gotta
old house,
turn it
yes.
on. Johnny, you grill?
I like to grill, but
Johnny, you ain't grilled in 20 years.
I don't. I like.
Where's Johnny's mic?
Like to grill, but
Hey, Johnny, hold the mic.
diet has changed.
Johnny, hold your mic, because nobody hears you.
Right. I enjoy barbecue and that, but my diet has changed, so I don't.
First of all, you shouldn't be
I
having
don't really play that
barbecue
game
sauce.
anymore.
No more barbecue for you.
No.
I'm going to teach you something you can have, and it's very healthy. I'm going to call Veggie Vero and do that thing that she gave us.
Ever notice that the automatic lighters on the grill always burn out before the grill does? Within about a year, you're sticking the flame in the gas, which I know is so incredibly
Dawn,
dangerous.
I
What?
got a surprise for you. When you don't use your grill for 5 years and you have the only lighter, I'm going to tell you, it don't work too good.
No, I used to actually do it. I actually raised my kids, fed them, cooked, and
Every
did everything
week
for them.
you have to use the grill.
Bobby, they always burn out right before the grill. I think that's how
Bobby,
they get
do you grill or do you get grilled?
I do not grill.
Does
But
your
she's
husband
right.
grill?
The lighter always burns out before while the grill, everything else works except the lighter.
Always burns out
True.
first.
100%
You're funny.
true.
I'm gonna let you take that grill, that lighter. We had a brand new one in the pack there, so you could take it with you. First of all, your grill has an automatic starter.
That's what I just said there. This is a new grill, so it's still working, I
All you gotta
think.
do is hit the button. If you can hit the button, you can grill.
I can grill.
You ain't gonna
I
grill.
can do it all.
You ain't gonna.
I used
You
to
can't
do
even see the
all
top of the
these
grill.
things.
You're like grilling like
I
that.
used, someone raised my kids, and I realized it was me. I used
Chuck
to grill
grills.
and do everything.
Chuck is the grill.
Now Aaron grills.
The man is the griller.
Is that it?
The woman is the puncher.
Johnny, what song you got to take us out?
All right.
on that comment.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Let's do it.
Time, see what's become of me. As I looked around for my possibilities, I was so hard to please. I look around, leaves are brown now, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Hear the Salvation Army band down by the riverside, bound to be a better ride than what you've got planned. Carry your cup in your hand. I look around, leaves are brown now, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Hang on to your hopes, my friends. That's an easy thing to say, but if your hopes should pass away, then simply pretend that you can build them again. I look around, grass is high, feels alright. It's the springtime of my life. Ooh, seasons change with the scenery, leaving time in a tapestry. Won't you stop and remember me? And in a convenient time, funny how my memory skips by looking over manuscripts of unpublished rhymes, drinking my vodka and lime. I look around, leaves are brown now, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground.
You've been watching the
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Welcome to a new way to watch your favorite shows. Only at www.amp2.tv/Roku. It's a place filled with music, podcasts, news, and more. Come join us.
Your True Oldies Listener's Guide. Listening in the Palm Beaches? That's 95.9 FM. On the Treasure Coast? You want 106.9 FM. In Boca? It's 95.3 FM. We've got Fort Lauderdale and Broward County covered with 96.9 FM. And you can always hear us anywhere at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
Do you enjoy watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show? Well, now you can represent your admiration with our merchandise. We have amazing t-shirts in a variety of sizes for you and your friends. Shop now at brooklyncafe.tv/shop.
The easiest way to sell your home is to call the number on your screen right now. We'll buy any home in any condition. And the more it's worth, the more you can get. Plus, no real estate fees or commissions means more money in your pocket. And no fix-up costs either. Sell any home in any condition, sometimes within days. Sell your home fast. Call right now for absolutely free information.
Would you like to hear better for as little as 10 cents a day? Now you can with the all-new Audion hearing aids. The average hearing aid lasts about 3 years. Ours, at only $99 a pair, means you're paying as little as 10 cents a day to hear better. And to make things even better, we'll give you a 45-day money-back guarantee. Skip the doctor and get hearing aids delivered straight to your door. We've eliminated all the middlemen to offer you a factory direct price of only $99 a pair. Join over 300,000 people just like you who took advantage of our 45-day trial offer. Now you can hear better too for just 10 cents a day. Call now and order your $99 pair of Audion hearing aids with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Plus, get free 3 to 5 day shipping.
800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. That's 800-259-1328.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hey, that's life. Baby, that's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that too. When I'm back on top in June, I say that's life. And it's funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. No, I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this final world, it keeps spinning round. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up, down, and over and out. Lord, I know a thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life, and I can't deny it. Many times I thought of cutting out, but this old bald head ain't gonna buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball, head down high.
I tell you,
Johnny Melnick on the keys.
that's life.
People writing in. Kenny Martell
Kenny Martell,
says you're the best.
who you were gonna meet next week? Freddie, I want to tell you about my friend
Tell
Kenny
me
Martell.
about Mr. Martell.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Kenny Martell. Kenny Martell was, and his group, the Kenny Martell concept, and before that he owned some some tremendous clubs in Fort Lauderdale in its heyday in the 70s. Mark and Clark were the original dueling piano guys, and Kenny was a drummer for that group. And Kenny put together a thing, and it was more than a band. It was costume changes. They used to excerpts from The Wiz and different shows, Broadway shows. By the time I got in the band, we were doing Dream Girls and all kinds of things like that. It was tremendous stuff. Very talented people. And Kenny was the middle of the donut, so to speak.
He's coming in next week with you?
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, I got him squared for June 3rd.
We're
if
not
he
here
can.
Monday.
Yeah, he's just an
June
interesting.
3rd.
July.
July 3rd.
We're
Sorry.
not here. 3rd and
July. I'm going backwards.
Let's go to the
We're traveling
6th.
back in time to
How
June.
about Wednesday
No.
next week? How about Wednesday or Thursday?
What about Wednesday the 6th?
Okay, well we'll work it out as soon as I.
The 3rd and 4th, we're eating hot dogs.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
And we'll get him.
I
here.
love that
He's
concept.
got stories miles long. I mean,
I love the concept. Maybe we can do a show
Dueling
tunes
pianos?
in here.
well, I tell you what, he could round up his group. They have a he puts on a cruise. They have a cruise going on. I think it's in September of all the people from the Kenny Martell concept, and they basically take over the ship.
Why don't we do a cruise on land? Turn this into a cruise.
All kinds of ideas flying around here, folks.
We'll turn this into a cruise. So when you come in, you're in Fort Lauderdale and here, and then when you go out that door, now you're in Bahamas, and then we do some music. You go back. We'll be in Hawaii. We'll be anywhere you want to be.
Anything you want to know about cruises, I can tell you.
You live on a cruise.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
Listen, if you call into the show now to really confuse the kids in there, I'll give you a ticket to go to the Bahamas on us.
888-994-4995, Studio A. Ready to go talk to Bobby over there?
Let's talk to Bobby. It's
Bobby is
Bobby's turn.
definitely made of patience, and I can tell you firsthand, Bobby Meloro Law, she redid my parents' estate plans, which means this woman's middle name is Patience.
Is
There
it?
is no doubt. Yes,
it?
if you had been
Your
at-
middle name Patience,
if you
Bobby?
had been around that kitchen table, you would have lit a candle for Bobby.
Did you
But
leave her
wasn't.
alone when you were doing it?
Did I leave her alone? I think I tried to keep the conversation
No, she's saying, yeah, you left her.
on
She'll
track.
never forget that.
I tried to keep it guided and
Well,
on
there were
track.
several meetings. You were one of which you were at. So
But Bobby Malone, she found out what we did, so I said, come, let's interview, talking about elder care, because we talk all the time, but when you have firsthand experience of what it's like to sit down with an attorney, I didn't realize you work with long-term care, seniors, special needs, of helping them even apply for Medicaid.
That's right.
I didn't even know that's what you did, but she thinks everyone does that.
I
don't.
thought that elder law attorneys, that was that is my primary focus. I thought all elder law attorneys did that, but you're telling me that I was wrong. So
We interviewed quite a few elder care attorneys, and I haven't heard anyone that helps seniors or those with special needs apply for Medicaid when they don't have the money for long-term care.
yes, that is what we do. That is my primary focus, and I absolutely love it. But first, I need to chime in on the cheeseburger discussion because I have 3 children. My 2 daughters are 24 and 22, and I have a 14-year-old son. And he is a self-proclaimed connoisseur when it comes to cheeseburgers. Every restaurant we ever go to, he orders a cheeseburger, and he rates them. He gives us his opinion at the end of the meal as to how good the cheeseburger was. His only 10 out of 10 cheeseburger, favorite of all time. Anybody want to give a guess as to what restaurant it was at? No? No.
The one you made.
Margaritaville. Apparently, Cheeseburger in Paradise should have a song named after it. Jimmy Buffett knows how to make a cheeseburger. So
Yes. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna give your son a special gift. We're gonna put you on a cruise to the Bahamas.
A Margaritaville cruise.
A Margaritaville.
awesome. So I have family that is in the cruise business, and we love to cruise. So awesome.
Oh, she don't need us.
Awesome.
I gotta tell you, if you go to a restaurant and you order a cheeseburger, and you tell the cook that I am from a TV show or something, and I want to rate this thing, so please give it your best shot. They come out with the best burger you've ever seen in your life.
We joke with him all the time that he should start a little YouTube channel rating cheeseburgers. So that's a great idea.
We should do a whole YouTube show around him, part of our kids' television network for the summer, on rating cheeseburgers.
We should do that. Johnny, do you sing when you order food in a
yes,
restaurant?
right.
Do you sing when you order food in a restaurant?
Do I sing when
Yeah,
I
like
order
you go,
food?
give me a cheeseburger. Do you do like a little? No?
I haven't tried it. I don't know if
Try
it's
it.
going to be
Watch what
helpful or
happens.
not. I don't.
Watch what happens.
I don't know.
What
All right,
is
Bobby.
in this
Bob,
coffee?
we're going to go back to what you actually do on your day job.
Okay, great.
I know what I'm going to play on the way out of here, though.
Great.
For elder care law,
Yes.
I think you specialize when we talked about it. We've interviewed quite a few elder law attorneys,
Yes.
and I don't think anyone's ever mentioned that they help find benefits or help people for Medicaid or special needs.
That is absolutely what we do. So if you or a loved one need long-term care, and when we talk about long-term care, it can run the gamut from you still live at home, but you could use a home health aide to come and help you take your medications or prepare meals or take a shower, get dressed, to you now want to live in assisted living, or you're very sick and end of life and need skilled nursing or nursing home care. All of that is very expensive, as many families know, and the average costs for home care and assisted living in South Florida are about $4,100 a month. And when you get to the skilled nursing phase, it's around $9,100 a month. So most families cannot privately afford that, at least not on a long-term basis. You know, that's not sustainable. So there are government benefits available that help cover some of that cost. One is the Medicaid long-term care program, and that's different from Medicare, Medicaid. And the other is there are veterans programs as well if you're a veteran. So we help our seniors qualify for and apply for those long-term care benefits.
Someone actually reached out to me the other day, and she said, can you introduce me to the gentleman I sat next to on your show 6 months ago that worked with seniors? Which totally redefined. I had to think back in my database. But
who was it?
Well, that's what I got to think back. The man that sat next to her 9 months ago. That was probably 1,000 interviews ago.
Yeah.
But something with senior care, so I can give her your number, because if she's looking to convert someone to Medicaid or get long-term care benefits, you would be a perfect person to do that.
Yes, correct. Correct.
So-
and it's
so-
hard to get, unfortunately. You know, Medicaid long-term care benefits are very hard to get. That's why folks need elder law attorneys. It's hard to qualify for it. It's hard to apply for it. They put up every obstacle. And when I say they, I mean, you know, the Medicaid gatekeepers, the government employees. So we are on your side, and we help you through the whole process from soup to nuts.
So would you say you're a very patient person?
I have to be.
See?
I am not by nature, but I have to be in my work. I have to be, for sure.
I think working with seniors, when I sat down with you and my dad went this way and we knew we had to go this way, you let him do his thing, and then you said, all right, let's now get back to what we need to do.
Yeah.
And we did for a few moments, then he'd go this way, and then he'd defer to my mom, and you'd say, okay, and then she would finally look at me and say, all right, what are we going to do? But you did. You were able to take all of their questions, and they had done you reassessed their plan that they currently had.
That's right.
Which I
That's
don't know
right.
if that's harder or easier than writing an initial one. Does it make a difference for you?
We usually start over just because it makes more sense in the long run. When a plan is outdated, we usually start over. But it's a good chance for everybody to kind of take a step back and take stock. Okay, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? And this is how we can do it. So regardless of what you did in the past, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago with your estate plan, let's look at what you need today and how your needs have changed, and let's address it. And these are the documents that will help you, and this is how we can design them for you. So, and your parents, I met 24 years ago when my first daughter was born. He's a pediatrician in my neck of the woods, and was for many, many years, and is dear to my heart. So it was a pleasure working with them, for sure.
It was interesting. You did all the paperwork. You did their power of attorney. You did their durable medical. You did their living wills. You did their wills and estates. But then you went through the real estate holdings.
That is huge. Real estate is the most what usually gives families the most problems at end of life, because it all depends whether you have a will or a trust in place or not. The only thing that matters when it comes to real estate is what the deed says. And so many people kind of forget that and don't do anything with their deed. So they have a will, they go through all the trouble of doing an estate plan, they have a will and a trust, and they never go back to the deed and update the deed. And that's the most important thing when it comes to real estate. So we looked at the deed and, okay, what would you like to happen to this real estate after you pass on? And this is what we should do to it. And then we record that updated deed in the public records so that there are no issues. So.
And changing the deed, is it difficult?
So we draft it. First, you have to draft it in the right way and make sure that it is worded correctly for what you want. Recording it is not a difficult process, but drafting it, you want to make sure it's drafted correctly and says the right things.
You made the process so easy, and I think about your property.
I was just going to bring that up because plan of action, a bad plan of action is bad. And when your parents think that that is the way, and they're stubborn enough to say, no, we're not doing it your way to me or to you. We're doing it this way that she can come in and persuade them. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm floored about.
It was amazing, because you know my parents.
They're like all the other my parents. My father went to the grave with a bad plan of action. Mm-hmm. And now it's me and my sister who are left that have to live this plan of action and this very little wiggle room on how to fix it afterwards.
It's much more costly and time-consuming to clean up a mess than to do it right in the first place. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wish I had known her. You bring all the good guests, like, a little late.
Well, the biggest thing was trust, because they trusted you. And you didn't go in guns blazing. You didn't go in with a fee that they went, oh, my gosh, I can't. You went in step by step, and you walked them through step by step. But to watch, it looked like it was somebody else's idea, and my mother actually engaged in the conversation.
That's
because they changed, and my dad said one thing, and she normally defers to him. And I said, Mom, is that what you want? Or you would say, Myra, is that what you want? And she says, no, that's not what I want, because there's some properties in her name. She says, what I want with my properties is this. And my dad had to listen because Bobby was there. There was no room for a conflict. They couldn't go back and forth because here's this trusted attorney that they called in, both of them agreeing. And she says, just let me know what you want. And the whole change of the conversation was right there with you. And you made it easy. And then she sent an email version, and then she sent the printed binder.
I don't think it was easy. I think that's your perception because you're breathing again. I think that she had to go through trials and tribulations to get them both on the same page.
We're actually still not done. So there was an afterthought. So
there was an afterthought with the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Initially, when we met, they were convinced that they were going to sell their home, and so they didn't want to update one of the deeds. And then when we met the second time, they said, you know what, I think we better update and I was very glad to hear that because it's the right thing to do. So.
Because otherwise it sits. And so what happens if you don't update a deed on your house?
So typically when it really depends how the original deed is. Typically if it's a married couple, it's deeded to a husband and wife. And that's not a problem because two people own the property. And when one spouse passes away, it's still not a problem because there's a living spouse that owns the property. The problem arises when the second spouse passes away because nobody thought to update the deed because, either it happens very quickly sometimes or it's just, it's not something that people think about. And now there's no living owner anymore. And the only way to resolve that is to go through court and to go through a probate process. So instead, what we recommend doing is there are two main options that we recommend. One is deeding the home to a trust, and a trust never dies, right? You just have a trustee, a successor trustee can step in and manage that property when the initial owners pass away. Or the other is called an enhanced life estate deed. And that's when parents can name their children right on the deed. And it says basically, we own this home for as long as we live, but after we pass away, we want it to go to X, Y, and Z. And so then it can pass to the children. But if it's just owned by a single person or it's owned by husband and wife, it's not protected from probate. So you need to update that and take that extra step.
And there's this psychological factor. When you have a couple and something happens, let's say, God forbid, to mom, something happens to dad, everything changes. And all of a sudden, communication with him, if it's me or my sister, it ceased. He wasn't listening anymore because mom wasn't there anymore. And until you understand the psychological aspects, this is why when they're both alive, You want to take care of business. Because when one leaves, everything changes. And I can't even explain to you the change. It was so bad that he took it to the grave without making the moves that he was supposed to move because she wasn't there anymore. And all he talked about was her not being there anymore. She was in such a frame of mind that we couldn't communicate with him after she died. So you want to do this sooner than later. It's not great news that you got to get through this stuff, but you want to be able to do this while they're both alive.
It made a huge difference.
Yeah. I'm really glad to hear that, and that you're 100% right, Freddie. If crisis planning is a whole different ballgame. You know, you really want to do it when you can think clearly, when you know what it is that you want, when you're healthy. If you're sick, if you're at the end of life, if you're in a crisis phase, you might not make the same decisions that you would have if you had done it sooner. So it's not something you should put off. And listen, none of us have a crystal ball. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. You know, I preach that motto all the time in my own family and with my clients to, seize the day, live today, because we don't know what tomorrow will bring. So it's so important to kind of get your affairs in order.
And if you find somebody you like you found Bonnie, jump on it right away. Telling you, because tomorrow is not guaranteed for nobody. And it's the caregiver during the process that suffers. You should have seen this one was a mess. And I was wondering, what happened? What changed? Hey, she didn't tell me about Bonnie.
It's about Bobby. It's about trust, though. Because I was saying, we interview a lot of elder care attorneys. We do senior shows, and elder care attorneys come in. And I'd say, do you want me to get you this person or this person? No. I started the process with Bobby. He tells me a year ago. Okay, where are we? And then I got a stack of emails. They were duplicates and triplicates of the same email from last June. Well, we need to get in touch with Bobby again. I only want to work with Bobby. So at least I knew there was the trust factor. Then I just had to get in touch with you. It was really easy. And it was actually, the catalyst was when my mom was in the hospital, she had surgery, and then she went to rehab. And they still weren't going to update anything. And her friend came in, whose husband had just passed. The friend's 90-something. Husband was like 99. And she looks at my mother and she says, Myra, you don't know what's going to happen. And here you are in the hospital right now. How can you do this to Dawn? That was the kick. How can you leave this to Dawn and not put your papers in place? Even with the papers in place, it's going to be a nightmare for her. It's going to make it easier, but none of this is going to be easy. So I left the rehab hospital and I called on my way down the Sawgrass, and I left a message with their office because I knew I had that opportunity where she was a captive audience, and she said, because someone had gotten in her head. And remember someone said, what would your wife want? Once my mother said, let's do this, my father had to say, okay. And he had already trusted you. So it was just filling in the blanks, and there you were.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the long-term care part of what you do.
Yeah, well, and sometimes with couples, like with your parents, they dragged their feet for a long time until they really realized, okay, we need to get this done, as you saw with the back and forth. So and that happens sometimes, and that's okay. You know, we're here when people are ready to start the process, and just guide them through it. So,
and the long-term care side. If someone needs services and they can't afford it, because I was thinking, what if, heaven forbid, we didn't have the situation we have? We all, me, my brother and sister, we all work. One of us that doesn't even hear. Who would take care of mom and dad if they didn't have the finances to do it?
So, and I say this all the time, estate planning and this long-term care planning is a gift that you give to your family and to your kids. You know, it's not for you, because you're not the one that's up at night trying to figure out how to pay the bills and writing checks, because, you know, you're ill at this point. So you're really doing this to make things easier for your family. It's hard enough as it is without your ducks in a row, but, you know, having your ducks in a row will make it a lot easier for everybody. But what we do is, so there's two different benefits that you can get through the Medicaid long-term care program. Most people don't even know they exist, so I'm really glad that you invited me today, because so much of what I do is education. But one of the programs is specifically for people who live at home or in assisted living, and that program it results in a benefit of around $1,700 to $1,800 per month to help them make ends meet. The other side is with the skilled nursing, and they cover a huge amount because the cost is so high. You know, if with a $9,100 average skilled nursing fee, the way the Medicaid long-term care program works is they will calculate the senior's income, and that they will decide, okay, this is what you owe. This is your copay. This is your patient responsibility. It might be $2,000 a month in Social Security, and we'll cover the rest, and you don't have to worry. So that's a huge benefit as well. And one way to pay for long-term care is with insurance, long-term care insurance. Most people don't have it because it's very expensive. And so the other way is just cutting a check every month, which most people can't sustain. And the third way is through these government benefits, the Medicaid long-term care program.
Will you help the client convert to Medicaid?
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course.
Because people don't realize.
Right.
And change whatever their assets are. You look at the assets versus income and all of.
That's right, because it's based on financial need. So we have to look at income, we have to look at assets, and we have to help people qualify in accordance with the Medicaid rules.
Did you see there was a study out last night? I don't know if you saw it. People have decided that to retire, the average money they think they need is $1.75 million to retire. What most people have in their 60s and 70s to retire is $89,000.
That must be in your world, because in my world, it's $45,000.
Well, it's what there's a study that they had on the news last night. So it's a huge gap of what they know they think they need, what they actually have, which is far less. So with that, what are you going to do if you need care?
Right, right. 45,000 doesn't go far. Neither does 89,000.
Right. So that was the point. Right. What are you going to do? So you rely on Social Security, which
and that
again,
won't
we
cut,
talked
that
about.
won't
I don't even know if I qualify for that one.
That's great if you're healthy, but it won't cover it if you get sick.
That was last week's conversation. I still got to go to ssa.gov. Yeah. But this is a great opportunity to restructure what you've got with enough time that you can qualify for Medicaid.
That's right.
I'm amazed because seniors, my parents, they were more about, I want to feel good enough today to live to tomorrow. So they were on the medical kick. I got to go see my doctors. My father's job became taking my mother to the doctor.
I know that one.
Figuring out the pills, because my mother had pills all over the house. And it was Linda that put all these pills together. And we started throwing stuff away because some of it, they couldn't even take them together. So their frame of mind changes. Everything changes when you get older. Listen, it's Monday, I want to see Tuesday. I don't want to hurt till Wednesday. What do you mean you want to talk about the house? Who the hell wants to talk about the house? I want to talk about this other stuff. So I am surprised, and you can feel it, that she actually delivers softly.
See how calm she is?
Which is really, really cool, because you need that. I lived through the nightmare. My sister lived through the nightmare. We know what the pain.
Me too.
You lived through the nightmare.
Got into this field with between my parents and my mother-in-law, and this is the. I'm Gen X, so the Gen X, the young boomers, this is what we are facing right now in our own families. We have kids and we have parents, and we're trying to help everybody. And it's not easy. It becomes a full-time job.
How do people get in touch with you?
So we have a website. My firm is called Meloro Law, which is MELOROLAW. So you could go to our website, melorolaw.com. You could call us at 954-577-1010, or you could drop me an email. My first name is spelled Bobby, BOBBI, at melorolaw.com.
She makes it easy. And also, I didn't all rest on me anymore. We actually got my brother and sister involved in the final say, which is nice to know that it's not all up to me anymore.
Well, it's easy to lead a parade when you have somebody leading it, and I think that's a tribute to what she does as well.
Thank you very, very much for having me today in your beautiful studio with listening to the beautiful music. I really appreciated the time, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you.
Contact Bobby. Initial consultation.
No charge.
Free initial consultation. You have nothing to lose but give her a call. Johnny, you want to take us out?
Johnny, they call you beautiful.
What's that?
You're beautiful.
Beautiful music.
Let's go. Beautiful music.
Thank
Johnny,
you, Bobby.
Thank
More
you.
to come on the other side of this break.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to stephaniejaffeart.com.
If you have diabetes, would you like to eliminate painful finger sticks? Are you injecting insulin multiple times per day? Then you may qualify for a continuous glucose monitor. CGMs monitor blood sugar using a small patch placed on your upper arm or abdomen, and they use your smartphone to accurately monitor your blood sugar levels. Stop pricking and start scanning. Plus, CGMs are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. They can be shipped free of charge to your door. Call today to see if you qualify.
Nobody likes to prick their fingers. If you are a diabetic using insulin like many of us, the worst part of your day is sticking your fingers to draw blood. Now you don't have to do it anymore. You can get a new continuous glucose monitor. As long as you check your blood sugar and inject insulin, it may be covered by your insurance. Call us and we'll let you know if you are covered, and send one at little or no cost to you with free shipping. Stop freaking your fingers. Call right now for your new continuous glucose monitor.
Introducing the Price is Right Home Sweepstakes. You could win the same kind of cash and prizes you see on the TV show. Just call this number right now. And when you call, ask about these amazing offers from our sponsors. Low-cost airlines offers fares too low to advertise that you can't find anywhere else. You can save hundreds on your next flight with low-cost airlines. US Med is your one-stop resource for diabetic supplies. And if you have Medicare, you could get them at little to no out-of-pocket cost. US Med. MedGuard Alerts unique medical technology provides immediate help to seniors with the touch of one button. And you could get your device for free. MedGuard Alert. The United Breast Cancer Foundation can use the donation of your old car, truck, or van to help those fighting breast cancer. Pickup is free and you'll get a tax exemption. Call now to enter the Price is Right Home Sweepstakes. Win thousands in cash and prizes and learn more about these great offers.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing, what's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Broken Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out, thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought. You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Melody, I hear that haunting melody. It's in my ever
else it seems could make me care. What is left is just a memory that's so empty and so unfair. Melody, I'll write another melody, and this time from the start you'll see I'll write it from the heart, and words that say come to me, stay with me. Won't you stay with me? No one else could fill my life with ecstasy. No one else, it seems, could make me care. What is left is just a memory that's so empty and so unfair. Melody, I'll write another melody, and this time from the start you'll see I'll write it from the heart, and words that say come to me, words that say come to me, stay with me. Won't you stay with me? Stay with me.
Cheeseburger in paradise, medium rare with mustard be nice. Heaven on earth with an onion slice, just a cheeseburger in paradise. Cheeseburger in paradise. Cheeseburger in paradise.
Coming back to me, and it's all good because Freddie is doing whatever Freddie's doing. Other guests? Perfect. Thank you very much. You want to join us on set?
What was that?
Cheeseburger in Paradise. It was a little bit of a transition.
He threw a curveball at me. I didn't think he was gonna be back there.
Where are y'all going?
I was discussing the next elements that we're gonna be doing on the show.
And here we are. We're going to talk to Natalie Earl, actually. Barracks Legend Foundation. We had a friend stop in the other day with his beautiful new service dog, Angelo, and he was going to be
Angelo,
here, but
He's stuck in Pennsylvania.
he's stuck in Pennsylvania, apparently.
So he said that
Natalie Earl. So we sent the lovely Natalie to fill in. And Angela we met through our friend Tracy, we call her new mom, Tracy Latome, who works at Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Coconut Creek. And they do a lot of fantastic work with the vets. And I don't know how Tracy met him, but he came here talking about, I know they've got a big event. I believe Tony Robbins is your guest speaker for the event.
Well, that's what we are trying.
That's what we were told you were trying. So give
Yes.
us some information, Natalie, welcome, about Barracks Legend Foundation.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to be here today. My name is Natalia Earl, and I'm a director of philanthropy with Barracks Legend Foundation. Our foundation was founded by Angelo Martinez, who is a Marine Corps veteran. He served 8 years for the Marines, and then he finished in 2011. In 2004, he was part of Operation Phantom Fury, where him and his teammates received tremendous amount of TBI, traumatic brain injury, and when they came back, they were kind of, nobody knew what to do with them, and that's how they relate the message to me. And VAs are overwhelmed, and nobody realized how much of a brain injury they all received. So in 2019, he decided to take his own life. He was just waiting for his roommates to leave, and he was going to load up the gun. And at that point, he received a phone call from another Marine asking him to come out and help them to shoot a commercial, and if he would be willing to be a Christmas elf, Marine Christmas elf for this commercial. So he said, well, I can always come back to this, let me go. And when he went, he had so much fun, and he truly enjoyed to be around his friend, enjoyed the camaraderie of the event. And when he came back home, he said, I don't have to do this today. So he has been fundraising for veterans over 4 years. He has worked with many different nonprofit organizations, and this year he decided to start his own foundation where we help veterans with the suicide prevention. And we do different events every month, and the numbers are unfortunately very high. Google will tell you 22 people a day, but the research has shown that it's actually 40 veterans a day. A majority are also females. So these numbers are devastating.
Majority are females.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason? I don't say reason, but why? Why females over males?
I think there is just so much trauma that goes also behind the scenes that is not publicized, whether it's a sexual trauma or, like even in corporate America, right? If a woman is on top and she's powerful, she slept her way up. So the same thing happens in the military. They struggle on receiving the respect from fellow, guys, and and as moms as well. When they come back, a lot of them also deal with postpartum depression, with PTSD, TBI. So it's definitely incredible how large these numbers are. And 3 main reasons that our veterans take their lives are loss of purpose, the narrative that they tell themselves that they don't matter anymore, they don't have their community, the camaraderie, and the comparison. Because when they come back, they compare themselves to civilians and they don't blend in. So what we do, we take them from the isolation into celebration. And we have 2 comedy shows coming up, and all the comedians are veterans. We take them X throwing, we go mini golfing, we do beach events, hikes, and this November for the Veterans Day, we have a huge event coming up on November 4th where we are hosting 400 veterans, and Dave Albin is coming. It's showcased by him. He used to work with Tony Robbins, and if you're aware, Tony does this fire walks on his seminars, and Dave was in charge of these fire walks for 17 years. He has now retired, has his own company, so he's coming to do a fire walk with our veterans to make them kind of take an oath that they're not going to hurt themselves, and give them a newer purpose as well. And we are going to have many different celebrity speakers. We are hoping for Tony to show up himself as one of the speakers. We are working on it, so we can't confirm anything right now, depending on his schedule, but we will have a live band, many testimonials from different veterans, and it's going to be an incredible evening of celebrating our heroes, because our heroes really need us.
You think how hard it is. Your whole purpose, your life, you want to serve and give back to your country, and then you see such atrocities that you see, and you come back, and the next morning you wake up and you're supposed to do life.
Right.
As a civilian.
Right.
Find a new job, be with your spouse, your kids, be mommy or daddy like nothing ever happened. Like you see all these great videos, oh, look who surprised their kids in their home, and life continues. But in your head, life is still out on the fields.
I saw a movie last night. It was just in the movies. It was about a Marine going through boot camp, and he was gay. And everybody knew he was gay. And they pushed this kid to the brink, almost to the point of killing him in a pool before, and he would not quit. And the psychology behind it, the movie behind it, was it's hard enough what the Marines do is that they build killing machines. And when the war is over or you finish your time and you come back, you have been trained so hard. I could not believe the training that they put them through. It was to the point of, we want you to quit, we're going to push you until you do. And those guys at the end of the rainbow were all one unit. So they took him in. You know how Marines go, ooh-ah. They took him in because he was fighting with his mother at the end of graduation. And they said, we don't see him as anything but a Marine. And they started to do the ooh-ah song. And for the first time, he felt like he had a family. But when these soldiers come home and we try to help them, we say we try. You know, this is a lifelong try, man.
Well, I think we try, but
it isn't
it's
enough.
So you can't try today and not try tomorrow.
That's the problem. You got to have your program forever, because we've trained them to be soldiers. We've trained them not to have feelings on the field, because if you do, it'll get you killed. So I saw this movie last night. It was a 3-hour movie. I could not believe what I was watching. I forgot you were coming. I said, wait a minute. There's a reason why I'm seeing this, and the psychology of soldiers in this field and what they got to go through. And then they got to come back to, it's a different type of war all over again.
Absolutely, and it's physical, mental for them. And when they come back, VAs are understaffed, they're overwhelmed. And like in Angelo's case, what they did is they scanned his brain from the outside, but they didn't go to the inside. So he couldn't even write his own name. He couldn't spell his first name. He would black out on 95, not remember how he got from point A to point B. And then he decided to take hands in his own matter and do his own research. He found another nonprofit organization, Project 22, when they did a deeper scan of his brain, and they found so much injury. He had black spots all over his brain. And then they put him in the oxygen tanks, because right now we operate at 21% of oxygen, and these tanks give you 100%. So week after week, he was going through these procedures, and after 2 weeks, he slept for 6 hours. After 4 weeks, he slept 8 hours, and so on. So these nonprofit organizations are so important, because they really do help our veterans, and they have a deeper understanding exactly what they're going through from day-to-day basis.
How did you get involved with this?
You know, as a naturalized citizen, I come from an ex-communist country, from Republic of Georgia, and I love this country so much, and I appreciate the freedoms that we have here. I do believe we live in the best country in the world. And when I heard that this was happening to the guys that fought for my freedom, that I get to enjoy every single day, it really got me. Like, it hit me in the gut. And I heard Angelo speak at one of the fundraising events, and I made someone to introduce me to him, and I was like, how can I get involved? How can I serve? What can I bring to your community? And this is how I kind of started introducing my own network to him. And I'm actually a host of a podcast myself. I live down in Miami. So yeah, that's how we teamed up, and we are doing some incredible work, and we need our community and we need everyone's help, because every dollar counts.
And what is your podcast about?
It's about adversities and failures and what makes us resilient. I believe that everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has been through something, and I was so sick and tired of only celebrities having a stage of sharing their success stories. But what about the dark side of life, right? Tell me about adversities. What helped you? Who helped you? So these are the stories that we share, and I also do a lot of educational episodes on various topics.
It's like the story I told you this morning about First Lady Zelensky, when she reached out to all the other First Ladies, and the families came over with their sick children, and the appreciation that other people from other countries have for our country for bringing them in, sometimes more so than the people that are actually naturally born U.S. citizens.
True. It's
we take for granted of who we are here.
Absolutely.
Versus those that come in by choice, or even not by choice, but then for their children or their families for a better life. and they're so incredibly grateful. I mean, I've seen last night, this woman was crying what the U.S. has done for her and her sick child. And the amazing thing is she's got a 2-year-old with cancer, came in from Ukraine, and she's pregnant, which means she has hope because she's doing this again. She's having another child in this country, even with a sick child. So there was so much to the whole conversation. Here you say the same exact thing.
No, people have no idea what they have till they don't, right?
Till they don't.
I always say, go outside of this country and see how other countries operate. Even now, look what's happening in Russia, right? The communism regime, or that it's still kind of there. It's undercover, but it's still kind of there. So appreciate every freedom that you have, freedom of speech, our constitutional rights. We live in a beautiful, beautiful country, and I'm so grateful to these guys. So anything that I can do to give back to them, I'm willing to fight for them now.
How do we get more information about the foundation?
Everybody can visit www.barrackslegendfoundation.com. All the information is there about Gala, all the upcoming events. You can also sponsor a specific event of your choice. We are all there, all of our board members. Our contact information is there as well. And if you have any questions, we will be more than happy to answer them.
Well, thank you so much, Natalia, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to be here.
You speak Spanish?
No, I don't. I speak Russian and Georgian.
In Miami. What's Georgian?
It's our own little language. I know we have 5 million population. It's very different from Russian or Ukrainian. None of the Eastern Europeans speak the language, but because I grew up and we were under Soviet Union, we had to learn Russian. I understand a lot of Spanish and I can order food, but that's about it.
Georgian is a breakaway from the USSR when they broke up.
But unless they have
like
their own
Stalin
language.
was
right.
Georgian. So in Europe, they always have this joke that without Georgians, there would be no history, because he built the Berlin Wall, and the Gorbachev and Shevardnadze broke down the Berlin Wall. So, yeah.
Well, Russia's so big that it has all these different groups of people. So for you to be Russian, you have to be something else because it's so freaking big. I mean, Russia is like the size of the United States like 3 times. It's huge.
Huge.
But they have different parts
Countries,
of the
yeah.
country. So when they say, I'm Russian, you ain't Russian, I'm Russian. You're Russian. I mean, they're all under one umbrella. Just craziness, craziness.
Well, thank you so much for your time and coming up and sharing all the information. For more information, you can contact the foundation or us right here at the studio, 888-994-4995, Studio A. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the swamp next door with Kelly Zavinsky. So more to come. And of course, Sally and Steve are here getting ready for their meetup today for Call Me Zena. So if you're in the area, stop on by today with our psychic and medium, Sally Bernard. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
Welcome to a new way to watch your favorite shows. Only at www.amp2.tv/Roku. It's a place filled with music, podcasts, news, and more. Join us.
If you have diabetes, would you like to eliminate painful finger sticks? Are you injecting insulin multiple times per day? Then you may qualify for a continuous glucose monitor. CGMs monitor blood sugar using a small patch placed on your upper arm or abdomen, and they use your smartphone to accurately monitor your blood sugar levels. Stop pricking and start scanning. Plus, CGMs are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. They can be shipped free of charge to your door. Call today to see if you qualify.
Todo Bello Balloons is a business that was born out of a passion for creating unique and beautiful balloon designs, including balloon bouquets, balloon arches, balloon columns, and more. We specialize in creating unique and beautiful balloon designs that bring your dreams into reality. We believe that balloons have the power to bring people together and create lasting memories, and we are honored to be part of that experience. Contact us and we will bring happiness to your celebrations with our balloons.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And that took care of that.
There you go. Just turn the lights on.
Johnny Melnick.
And God said,
Let
there be light. And here we are. And here we sit. Well, what a fun-packed Monday, I got to tell you.
You having fun?
I am. It's always nice to start off our week with Johnny Melnick. Nothing like some music on this Monday afternoon.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
No one does it like Johnny, I just have to say.
Johnny, are you going to be playing anywhere recent or before you go away anywhere
Let's
in
see.
city?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's see.
He's going to see.
You're going to see?
Yeah.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm local at Bistro Mezzaluna. Trying
When?
to think of the dates. I don't have the dates in front of me right now. Bistro Mezzaluna on 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale. Locally.
He's got to remember the dates.
Is that what he's doing?
Yes.
He's remembering the day he's going to sing. Well, I hope it ain't today, because...
No, it's not. It's no.
Well, he's
It's
here
not
today.
Tonight, no. It's not tonight. It's,
All right. Well, thank you, John. Johnny's going to hang with us
Friday
for the
or
rest of the
Saturday.
show.
I've been doing Fridays there, so it could be the The 7th. Could be the 7th. Yeah, I think it's the 7th of July.
Oh, okay, that's next Friday. Next is going to be a funky kind of week.
Why?
Because the 4th of July is on a Tuesday, which means we're closed on Monday and Tuesday. And then, you come back on Wednesday, it's like a Monday. Next thing you know, it's Friday. And then you got to go see Johnny at Bistro Mezzaluna because kind of lost the whole week there.
What?
The place is great. The place is really great. I just so love playing there. Beautiful piano, sound, everything's good.
Let's check
Food's
that out.
great. Staff is great.
And Kelly, I know you got to get back to work, so let's head over to our author in residence, The Swamp Next Door with Kelly Zabinski.
Hi, thank you so much for having me again. It's great to be here.
Absolute pleasure. We got to meet you briefly on the editor's desk.
Yes, I
with
remember
Louise
that.
and Lynn. And Mindy, of course, is here, like a proud, I'm going to call you mom, like aunt over there. Because honestly, she could be your mom. You guys look enough alike.
Right, with the blonde hair?
Totally.
Absolutely.
Totally, and a good friend of Sally. So this whole blonde contingency are going to be doing what they do. Tell us about The Swamp Next Door. How did this even come to be?
So The Swamp Next Door was my first book that I ever illustrated and wrote out, and it started with helping my friend in her book because she needed illustrations for her children's book. And I was just coming up with some ideas for her, and she ended up liking the characters. So I was coming up with characters and scenes for her children's book, and that inspired me to do my own. And as I was coming up with the characters, they're different than the ones that she has. So her book was more like bright and colorful, more female leads, whereas mine is more like swamp and dark and more male leads. But when I was coming up with the characters, they're completely something I would never imagine. Like when I draw, it's usually just random things, but I never thought I could imagine drawing a crocodile or a mosquito man and all these random characters. But the book is dedicated to Dylan Drew and Patrick Cervella. And their names were in the book. As I was coming up with the characters, I was like, this is a sign that I should dedicate this book to them, So I kind of continued on with that, and the book just flew through me.
And the book is about rumors.
Yes.
Not everything that we hear is true.
Yes. Yeah, so it's talking about how we may hear something and then come to find out it's not everything that we hear. And we have to experience our own experiences ourselves before we can judge it. Before hearing somebody else say it, we got to experience it our own.
Like gossip?
Yes. Gossip is a big one, and then once we learn out that the gossip isn't true, we learn that not everything that people say is true. So we have to follow with their own experiences and not always listen to what everybody else has to say.
You got to learn from your own, especially for summer. You talked about the kids. Rumors are bummers that can ruin people's summers, but when we learn not to judge but love instead, we learn from our hearts and not from our heads.
Yes.
So it's about love?
Yeah, so it's about, creating our own adventure and seeking out the truth of our own when we hear these rumors and figure it out ourselves that it's not true. And, at the end of our adventure, we can come up with new friends that we didn't think we could be friends with before because we heard rumors about them. And then once we have our own experiences, we see that we could actually be good friends with them rather than enemies.
So it's about not living in fear.
Yes, that too.
Living in faith.
Well, the whole world right now surrounds themselves with rumors. The conflict you have in the Ukraine, another stupid rumor. And it's funny because she's from Georgia, which is a breakaway from the USSR. And the USSR broke into many, 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 many countries because they weren't happy with what was going on, obviously, in home Russia. It happens with the United States too. There was always countries like Texas that wanted to leave, Florida wanted to leave because they weren't happy with the things that were going on there, but the alternative sometimes isn't all that good. But I like the fact because high schoolers, I'm sure, with this kind of book being a message, because it's probably written for younger minds, yes?
Yes, it is. And in the beginning of the story, the main character, Pat Parker, he's hearing about all these crazy rumors about these creatures by the swamp. He lives next door to a swamp, so the students in his class are telling him, like, oh, there's this in the swamp, there's this creature, be careful of this guy. So after school, he skips the bus and goes on into the swamp to see if these rumors are true. And then he runs into them. And instead of them being the rumors that he heard about, they ended up helping him find his way home. So they end up being friends. And then at the end of the story, the swamp creatures meet Pat's friends and they put those rumors to an end and they all become best friends at the end of the day.
Is this your first book?
It is, yes.
How long did it take you to write it?
The process itself between writing it and drawing the scenes, I did everything old school. Like I took draw it on paper, took a picture, scanned it onto my computer, did it through a Wacom tablet. So I want to say at least a good year for me to actually get it out there and publish.
And what pushed you to write it?
I really think it was just that writer's flow and just the fact that this was something I don't think I would have came up with on my own. And the fact that this was something that just came to me, I took it as a sign that I got to carry it out. And I just wanted to have something just to show that I can do this. And I never imagined myself being able to do this until my friend, when she needed help with her children's illustrations. And that inspired me to do my own and just led me to be able to write this book.
But you could have written a novel. You could have written a mystery novel. You could have written anything.
I think it was just the rhyming. I'm like, okay, like I can't do novels. I'm not good at writing, but rhyming, I'm like, okay, I can have fun with that. It's easy to read. And I think the rhyming is what helped in creating those scenes too, was like coming up with the rhymes in my head and creating the scenes. But I don't know if I could do a novel. Maybe one day when I'm more a little experienced, but I think it was just the rhyming that helped a lot.
Poetry, a specialty of yours?
Poetry. I do like writing poetry. Like, I like things that can be able to rhyme. So I think that was the reason why I did a rhyme, because it catches the children's attention. And I think it helped, like, make the book flow better that way. But, yeah, I hope to continue with the writing. And more than likely, when I create the children's books, there'll be more of a rhyming scene.
It's interesting because, rap artists, they do songs that want to be impactful, sometimes too impactful, and society gets all nuts on it. So I think that from what I could tell, you're trying to gather as much steam towards the rumor deal, using words, using rhymes, using a rhythm that will attract younger minds,
yes,
older
exactly.
minds, right?
Yeah.
That's harder to write than a freaking novel.
Yeah. Right? I was like, okay, this will catch people's attentions. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a very short attention span.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. So, like, being able to write this and read this, I'm like, okay, this will catch the viewer's attention because it's rhyming. And what you say, it's like a rapper's flow almost. So you kind of get into the rhythm of reading it. Whereas, like, novels, it has to be a really strong novel for you to be really invested and read and fully read through with it,
You're working on your second book?
I am, yeah. All the books that I have in mind that I'm creating are all dedicated to loved ones. So I have another children's book that I'm working on. It's going to be I'm trying to do like a mama bear kind of thing. So that one's also in the works. Hopefully I'll get that out by next year.
Same characters or a whole new storyline?
Whole new storyline. And that one has like a cliffhanger with one of the characters that I might go back into the future when I'm a little bit more advanced with my drawing and writing. But this was just another book that kind of came to me that I feel like I have to work on.
And you self-published this? You did everything?
Yes. It was through Amazon Direct Published Solutions. So they helped me get the book out there.
It was easy. Sally's ears are perking up because I know you're looking.
Because you're in the midst of this whole thing that she's done.
Yeah, if you ever need help.
And it's interesting because you learn little pieces of what other people do. Can I see the outside? Now, this book has a different feel.
The cover
Tell
is
me
different
about,
paper.
Tell me about what you did here.
That was all done. They did the paperback. So they have the version of the ebook or a paperback. And my biggest thing was having a physical copy so I could send the book out to Dylan Drew and Patrick Zarvella's loved ones. And I was like, yeah, this does feel very different than most books. But that was just what they came with. I think the hardcover, you need a certain amount of pages for it to be a hardcover. So they just stuck with the paperback.
But the reason I think they did this is because it's called The Swamp Next Door.
It's got a different feel, right?
It feels like the swamp to me.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. That's so cool, yeah.
Totally.
Right?
Like algae. You're right. That's exactly what it feels like.
You ever put your hand in a pond that has green algae on it? It comes out feeling like this.
Oh, that is so cool. Wow. So people buy the book, they'll actually get a good feel for it, literally.
I mean, this book is exactly what you wrote about. If you
Right.
could feel your way. And it's funny because you got to hold the outside of the book to read it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole, whoever came up with this, I think is brilliant. Whoever came up with this whole texture. I remember the first time I met you and they handed me the book. That's the first thing, it brought me back to the ponds in Puerto Rico. They had all this algae on them. And I remember putting my hand in it and coming up and saying, boy, it feels just like this. And I thought you did this on purpose. You should have said, absolutely.
I know. I should have
friend."
just ran with it. I'm like, yeah, that was totally on purpose.
Totally,
Like,
exactly.
that's a good idea. I never thought of it like that.
It's really smart. They put this together for you?
Yeah.
That's smart.
Did you like to read when you were younger?
No, not really. Unless the book was like really interesting. I mean, I feel like in elementary school they kind of give you books that you have to read, so it was kind of hard to actually pick a book that I actually liked. But I mean, I like the simple children's books, you know. Like I love, like what's Magic Tree House, and you know those books with like the images and pictures, or what's that one children's book, the Hungry Caterpillar.
Right.
So like those children's books always stuck with me. So I was kind of create one of my own like that too.
There's certain books, like I can see you reading this to the boys, like as a bedtime story. You can get through it in a night. They're gonna love it. Your grandsons will absolutely love it, Pop reading it. And it's a great, right? But it's a
Yeah.
great read. It's a great grandparents book. It's a great summer book. It's a way to connect with the boys for sure.
Well, I got to read it with puppets.
Yes, that's the next step is creating
We have
puppets
those
of them.
We had the hand puppets. Yeah, you're going to be doing them, right?
Yeah,
Because you know
absolutely.
you got to have puppets for this book.
Oh, I know. That's the next step. I'm going to create like little sock puppets of all the characters and do a little short play of it. That's a good idea too.
And this isn't what you do full time. You've got a day job that I know we're trying to get you out to get back to.
Yes. So this is something I do on my own free time. I'm a receptionist, so when I'm not answering calls, I'm working on images. So this is just something that I just wanted to do for fun and hopefully get it out there, you know, and just dedicate it to loved ones. That's the main goal.
How do people get the book?
Amazon. So if you just go on, if you have an Amazon account, you just type the title, The Swamp Next Door, you can find it easily that way.
And the title for the next one, do you have it yet?
I think it's just Mama Bear, but it's also still in the works. That's another one that I'm still working on. So hopefully next year I'll be back on here and talking more about it.
Remember the book, I think, was going on a bear hunt, or at least I was inside. You can't go over it, you can't go under it, you got to go through it when you were growing up. Reminds me of this, like the next level of the swamp.
Yeah.
Books that you read to your kids and how do you navigate things that you're afraid of.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what the book is about, is just, you know, not listening to the rumors and following your own path and getting over those fears and having those fears be something that's completely not true. And at the end of the day, it's rewarded with friendship.
Imagine learning that young.
You get a big enough box, you get the puppets on the hands, and you put a little show on. And I think the 3, 4, and 5s, this has a real big, heavy impact, is what I feel for this thing. I think it's tremendous. And you're right. This is something that with Braxton and
Brecken and Rowan.
Brecken and Rowan, I could sort of relate with as well. A lot of storyline left on this runway here. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to do.
And it's funny that you say that because my aunt, her granddaughter, you know, she read the children's book to her. She read The Swamp Next Door to her granddaughter. And her granddaughter ended up reading the book to her stuffed animals. She loved the book that she ended up reading the book to her own little stuffed
Amazing.
animals. So it is a story that can touch children's hearts and adults' hearts too.
Congratulations.
We set
Thank
it
you.
up, and you know that green slime that you can make? You put that on the set. Oh man, it's a whole freaking production on this.
Oh yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations, The Swamp Next Door by Kelly Zabinski with an I. Go to Amazon and check that out. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Sally and Steve and see if we can get anything out of Mindy. And of course, some more Music Monday with Mr. Johnny Melnick. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Ant Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Melberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
Give me the mozzarella. 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 Give me the mozzarella.
Pizza Rica, tasty Richard Pizza at 2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard or contact 561-826-8663.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Yeah, I'm walking down Lonesome Road. Yeah, I'm walking down Lonesome Road. Where he leads me, I don't know. Just keeps winding that lonesome road. Phone's ringing. Blacktop pavement, a highway 9, and a rocky road from another time. What concentration? 8 miles of sorrow and a heavy load. Just keeps winding that lonesome road. Play it. I remember what drove us down. Your screaming silence, my broken sound. But too late for sorrows, oh long goodbyes. Angels falling from heaven's skies. Yet I'm walking lonesome road, where it leads me, I don't know. Just keeps winding that lonesome road.
Had to tell people to stop calling Johnny. He's busy. He's working.
Phone's
tell him,
ringing.
Call him back after 2.
Phone's ringing. Ultimate concentration.
Ultimate. Yeah, but meanwhile, he's talking through it. Gotta keep playing.
The phone was ringing.
The phone was
My
ringing.
phone was ringing. I said, what concentration he's got. I'm not answering the
I
phone.
tell
It's
you, you got
incredible.
fingers like God.
Pretty impressive. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
What a great way to start off the week with some music on Monday with Johnny Melnick. How do you like that?
I like
you do
it.
Music Mondays with Melnick.
I like Melnick is on, and now Melnick is going to be leaving us at the 23rd. He'll be back in
got
October.
a month.
Yeah.
So when you come back, I'm going to book a concert.
Yeah, let's do something, sure.
Yeah, let's do something.
Let's
Every
do
time
something.
I'm going to do something, you leave.
Well, no, well,
You're in demand.
That's the way. It's the way life. It could be a cruise gig,
That's
you know.
life.
It could be for 4 months on a cruise ship.
I heard
it's the way
this-
it's been going.
Superman got his cape, and I heard you Captain Speedo.
I think you Captain Speedo.
Going out to
Well,
Pennsylvania, he's going to be working, but we're going to do it. I'm going to put your phone in there, and we're going to stream it from you. If
Yeah,
you
let's
can.
do it. Let's do that.
Just
for
don't
sure.
move the phone around.
No. Let's. Oh, I'm anxious to figure that out. I love to do it live.
And
Live
don't
is
take
my
a
thing.
phone call, because you take a phone call, messes everything up.
All right, let's head over to Sally and Steve, see what they've got going on. Sally, getting ready for your meetup today at 2:30.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And you got a book coming out soon too, right?
I do, yes, and we've changed the concept of it a little bit.
So what's the concept now?
No, as far as marketing.
Oh, no, that we did, yes. But the book is about,
It's about my life and my story and how I actually ended up eventually here, which is a great
it's a movie.
movie.
Well, we love having you here.
Yes.
I know we have a handful of people coming in today to ask questions, and last week you were on point. Oh my gosh. You had messages and names, and she named a guide that was Lola's guide. Lola wasn't even here.
That was incredible, actually. Even because I don't always remember what I'm talking about, but that name stuck in my mind, and I'm sitting next to Lola, and she said she did not hear this, and she said to me her guide's name. Well, I actually did that with you too, right? And I got his name, so they are giving me their names from the other side too.
I heard that you started naming names, which is something that you normally do not do.
Yeah, I do, but I'm getting names from.
You did it today again.
I did?
Yes.
What did
Frederica.
I do? Oh, Frederica, yes. No, there is somebody around you.
She says, I do. And yes, you did.
I don't remember. So
How can I forget Frederica?
And it's not you. The message is
I
it's
just
not
said
you.
to Steve, there's a Frederica here for Dawn, and I don't know who it is.
I don't know what it is
Frederica,
with you.
Frederica.
Now, you live at home with this lady. You go through this all the
Yes,
time?
I do, as a matter of fact. We've got people coming out of the electrical sockets in the house, and all kinds of nice things like that. It's wonderful to come home from the road and come back to all of the Sally stuff.
When she gets bigger and bigger and you go on these cruises, you know, people are going to come over to you and say, excuse me, I don't mean to disturb your dinner, but can you tell me who the hell is going on over here?
There's always people around. Last week I had
Did you ever
Elizabeth.
notice when people disturb you, they said, I don't mean to disturb you, and then they disturb
But
you?
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we're in business for, right?
Yeah,
Is
I-
to help people with the questions.
Questions? You have any questions for Sally?
I do. But I'm going to wait
Please,
till her
Freddie,
show.
I'm here to answer your questions.
You see, I don't like to take over the show because I can ask you because there's
Questions all the
million
time.
questions. Because the questions that I have come to me to ask.
But
It's
there's
really
no
strange.
coincidence.
Huh?
There is no coincidence.
No,
so
but
you
it's
meant to
strange because I produce other shows with other people that do similar but not the same things that you do. But with you is different because it's not questions about myself. But everybody around me has, like this one has all these visions and messages that she gives me. She just gave me one the other day, and it happens to be very, very true about the property taxes in Puerto Rico, which I had to take care of. And I made a
Please
phone
feel
call.
free to ask me any questions for any of my show.
But your show, you see, but your show is a little bit different because if she has a question and she asks a question, I sort of want to relate it to what is being asked because, I mean, I can come out of left field and give you a question that's totally bonkers to what we're talking about. So I don't want to do that.
No, but then I always say, as you know, you've heard me say that, I'm only as good as the question that you ask me. And if something may come into your head or Dawn or anybody here in the studio, and it may not be what we're talking about, it's, I believe, what I'm meant to hear, and I will give the answer. So it's not necessarily on topic what we're talking about.
Yeah, in recent shows, I think the show has migrated to another place where past shows, questions were coming from more of a psychological standpoint, and now it's more of a spiritual sense. So I like the way the direction of the show is going.
I think last week I've had a lot of compliments on that show. I, of course, don't always remember what I'm talking about, so I have to go back and listen. But it was more of questions that were, you heard it, so what would you
They're
say?
more specific, more individualized and more specific than overall global. When you first started, you had said you wanted the overall global questions. You wanted more of world peace and environmental and all the things that were happening globally. But people want to know about themselves.
Right.
And last week, you just leveled it up and you gave names and you told people how to level up their business, how to you had that Eve was here and you told her about growth and everything she needed to do. And she went, oh my gosh, we were just talking about that at lunch. How did you know?
And I actually, without going back into the actual recording of the show, I have no idea what I talked about. So obviously, hopefully today may be a continuation of that.
Why
So
is 7 years an important number?
Why is 7 years an important number? Because I think we change every 7 years. This is what I'm hearing. So where we are 7 years now will be different 7 years from now, from here to 7 years. We may not notice that, it's subtle, but we do sort of do, I'm wanting to say a rebirth every 7 years. So your show, 7 years from now, it'll be interesting to see where you guys go to. I feel that from my point of view, from where your show is going, it's going to expand tremendously. Look back on what we're saying today, 7 years from now. If I'm still around, I don't know. I'm getting old.
You're not going anywhere.
Okay, so have a look and see where you are 7 years from now. It's phenomenal.
They say, that's what they say. It takes 7 years of making mistakes to finally get it right.
Then you're on the next 7 years, and then from there on it'll be the same thing. Yes, yeah. 7 years.
It takes 7 years.
Seven.
But it's interesting because your show has so many different directions that it can head, and it also is based upon what people are going through. Like you had some guests in here for the first time a couple of weeks or last week, and I was really interested in hearing why they showed up, in the questions that they were asking. And they were looking to feel more confident in being able to ask some of the questions that they asked for, which were, it was interesting. There was a different
dynamic here, I feel, even though I don't always remember, but I know, you see, I have guides that lead me to the answers of my conversation. I think I had somebody different here, but that would also affect the studio of what people are going to ask me, because it's just like sitting here right now. We talk as a group, but they're as a group over on the other side. So they obviously may do the same as what we're doing. Shall we ask this question or that question? I think, someone different, as far as I know. This is what I feel. And the dynamics of the show went a little differently. And I've had a lot of compliments from people that have watched it, actually.
Well, the numbers were outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. But the numbers in the last 3 weeks have changed completely, have grown. And a lot of that has to do with the content of where we're
Absolutely. And I'll always say, I'm only as good as the question that's asked to me. I mean, I'm not going to come out without a question of what I want to talk about.
But your answers have gotten, I don't want to say better, more specific. You're giving people more of an answer than an overall answer.
That's what I feel, because I feel sometimes it was repetitive, which is important, but up to that point, I think we need to change it slightly, and I think that's what actually happened, yes.
And we're seeing a lot more shares happening.
Which is great.
Sometimes
a lot of shares, yeah.
Well, sometimes the ability to be able to ask is as important as anything else. And I think that people are more comfortable and they're seeing more of it, and the shares have increased. We've increased our awareness. We've increased the Roku and the Amazon pages and everything else.
Right.
And so they're beginning to see more, and they see more rhythm. Sometimes asking a question can be a scary thing because sometimes you don't know what the answer is going to be.
And hopefully with the audience, and I am seeing a lot of repeats of people that are listening to the show, they're feeling more comfortable too, because it's like I don't know them, but it feels like I'm getting to know them because they're listening to me, so they feel more comfortable with their questions.
You're gonna have a great show. John, you have any questions for Sally before we wrap up today's show?
Do I have any questions? Lots of questions.
Okay, well, please feel free to ask them.
Lots of questions. What kind of questions you got there, Johnny boy?
What kind of music do you like on your show?
Well, I haven't
that
thought
kind of
about
show.
that one, and I have to ask my guides, but whatever you play is okay
I would love to
with me.
I would love to contribute.
I would love you to. I love your music.
I'd be glad to.
As an opening, maybe we'll do something. Definitely, I'd love that.
A theme song, perhaps.
Okay, we'll figure that out. Maybe I'll have a particular theme song, and then you'll play it.
That would be great.
Okay.
Something
Not
ast-
Mustang
something
Sally,
a-
though. I
something
do not
astral.
want Mustang Sally.
Yeah, something astral.
Not Mustang Sally.
Yeah.
Not
No,
long,
no,
tall
no.
Sally either.
We can do it.
Oh, long tall Sally.
All right, you ready to wrap this
Anything
up?
else will go. Oh, you know what my favorite song is?
What's that?
And that would be great. My Way. I love My Way.
Okay.
Okay.
We can make it like
That's
an
my
astral
song.
version of it.
Sally's
Perfect. Yes, My Way.
Astro version?
An
Of
astral
My
version
Way,
of My
yeah.
Way.
We'll
Really?
open the show with My Way.
And
Isn't
it
that- isn't that
begins.
what- that's-
Now, I
that's
didn't
the
start
theme, right?
that. They did. Here we go again. Astro version.
An astro. version,
Like
yeah.
space astro.
Well, you know,
Spiritual.
yeah.
No,
Ethereal.
astro's deeper than that.
Ethereal.
Well, I've come to the conclusion that I've absolutely done this my way, so that's my show.
100%.
We can do that. We can do it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, tune in today at 2:30 for Call Me Zena with Sally Bernard. You can give us a call at the studio. She'll answer any questions that you have. 888-994-4995, Studio A. July 21st. Get your tickets now at events.amp2.tv for the J.C. Dreesen live concert at Movies of Delray. And what else we got? That's what we got for today.
So we
Ready to wrap this up?
I think that's enough.
All right, have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.